She's in the water.
Maryam is only the second person and first woman to do this swim.
Go, Maryam!
To swim around your hometown is an experience.
Maryam is attempting to circumnavigate San Francisco today.
There's no wetsuit allowed. You just get one bathing suit, one swim cap, one set of goggles.
We'll keep going north!
You're absolutely not allowed to touch the boat, so you're fully on your own in the water.
Woo! Nice job!
It's so much more mental than it is physical. And there was a small voice that was like, "You're gonna finish this."
Some people live here their whole lives and never swim in this water. It is always cold, usually rough, and there are plenty of animals. So it's no wonder this is only the second time someone has managed to swim all the way around San Francisco. Maryam Sharifzadeh was always a swimmer, but not quite like this.
I played water polo growing up.
Her triumph over the bay and the ocean arose out of tragedy when she lost her friend Nasim, who'd been like a sister since childhood.
She passed away in a plane crash last year, and it was really hard for me. I had a lot of grief, and it was a very physical feeling for me, so I knew that I had to process it in a very physical way.
It began as a fundraiser, swimming all the way across Lake Tahoe to raise money for Nasim's favorite charity, No Kid Hungry.
I chose Lake Tahoe because she loved it. I just thought I could do a lot of pool training. That was not the case.
It's a different animal.
It's a different animal.
Training 4 to 5 days a week, it turned out the open water was nothing like a pool.
When I got in, I was freezing.
Can you teach your body to be used to cold water?
Absolutely. Yeah, you do it slowly and gradually.
She made it across Lake Tahoe.
But when I was done, I felt like I still had more in me.
We're going. Beautiful morning.
On a day picked months in advance, she assembled a team to help her do the almost unthinkable. Swim all the way around San Francisco, 22 miles from the breakers to the bay.
I had very little expectation of actually completing the swim.
All right, there's San Francisco.
In the dark and the cold, with a boat on one side and a kayak on the other, the trouble started almost immediately.
I believe that the tides were predicted a couple hours off.
The crew on the boat saw something was wrong.
I kept looking up at little landmarks to see if we were making progress, and it didn't feel like we were.
GPS confirmed Maryam was swimming against the tide and wasn't moving at all.
I'm putting on a smile. We're doing great. Knowing that we're swimming in cold water in place.
Support swimmer Vanessa Brown swam next to Maryam for an hour and never told her.
As a swimmer in general, when your head's down for 9 hours, you can go to some dark places, in all honesty.
In a sport some say is 80% mental, the crew's most important job can sometimes be deciding what not to tell the swimmer.
The first whale, remember that the first whale came out probably 10 yards from us.
Whales breaching, sea lions feeding.
There he is. Whoa!
Dodging giant container ships.
Just passing us. You're gonna see it right there.
How much of this was she aware of while this was going on?
None.
But she was aware of this.
Give a woo-woo!
Doing the backstroke under the Golden Gate Bridge. After fighting through currents that made her seasick, the worst was over.
When she was in that choppy part in Golden Gate, I was stressed out because she couldn't eat.
Tiffany Fields was responsible for feeding Maryam every 30 minutes.
And you can't touch the boat.
Right, so it's kind of like feeding wildlife off the side of a boat.
She ate baby food and drank from a water bottle at the end of a long rope as her friends broadcast her progress live on Facebook.
We got Alcatraz and we got Joe. Woo-woo!
Joe Butler, the only other person who's completed this swim, came along for the ride.
I asked Joe, like, how much farther do you think till we're done? And he estimated about an hour and a half, which was really 2.5 hours.
Get it, ladies!
A support swimmer can get in for an hour at a time with strict rules. She can swim alongside, but not in front.
You can't touch them, so I can't say good job. I can't high-five her.
With the tide pushing her, Maryam was making progress. But marathon swims can sometimes end abruptly.
I've done a lot of swims where the people make it within 100 yards of completing it, and they get a mouthful of water and they just don't want to do it anymore.
In this case, the finish line was the invisible San Mateo County line, somewhere in the middle of the water.
I kept looking at the boat and I could see them scampering around, so I know that something's going on.
Unsure of the exact spot, the crew made Maryam swim several hundred extra yards to be sure before they told her the news.
You did it!
After 9 hours and 11 minutes, Maryam thanked the crew that fed her and kept her safe.
Yeah, we all one big team. It takes a village.
And she said a special thank you to Nasim, who was there in her heart.
I thank her continuously for being there and helping me get across because I don't think I could have done it without her.